P.3 linear equations and inequalities.
Are these the examples?
Yep,
Okay.
because in theory you've done the notes.
In theory.
I did them.
But technically they're due Friday, right? Because yesterday was Wednesday.
This is an AP class, so you have homework on Wednesdays.
What?
Okay.
All AP classes have homework on Wednesdays.
Okay, I did my homework, but I did not print it out because I thought it was for Friday.
It's fine. It's okay. I'm giving some grace until Labor Day, and then from
When
there.
is Labor Day?
Labor Day?
Labor Day?
That's what Zach said.
In 2 weeks.
Oh, sure, Dave. Thank you. It's Zach.
Well, I say in 2 weeks, in like a week and a half.
Zach-ish. Like, it looks like something Zach would wear.
Yeah. So it looks better on you.
Okay, find which values of x are solutions to the equation. So they give us a problem, x over 2 plus 1/6 equals x over 3. And then they give us 3 answer options. They say that A is x equals -1, B x equals 0, and C x equals 1. And we're seeing which ones basically solve this equation. So we can go about this 2 different ways. We can either just plug in each of these numbers and see if it makes it true, or we can just solve the equation. I'm going to solve the equation because it'll be faster. But if you want to do it a different way when you do your homework, that's fine too. But basically, I have a bunch of fractions here, and I don't really want to have to get a common denominator, so I'm going to eliminate all my fractions by multiplying the entire thing by 6. So then 2 and 6 reduce, so that would give me 3x plus 1/6 times 6 would just be 1 equals 3 and 6 reduce, that gives me 2x.
How do you know you could do that?
Where were you last year?
Not paying attention.
Not paying attention.
It'll make your life easier. So then I can move the x over. So 1 equals -x. So x equals -1. So that means that my only answer is A.
Nice.
So, like I said, you could do it the other way where you're plugging in numbers, but just be aware that just because the first one works, if you do the plugging in option, you can't just stop, because quite a few of these, well, I say that. At least one of these problems has 2 answers. So, just be aware of that. Okay, y'all are going to think this is crazy, but we're going to determine if these equations are linear. People tend to miss these. So, number 6, 5 equals 10 over 2. Is this a linear equation?
No, there's no line because there's none of the equal time thingies.
There's no X or Y.
Right, there's no x or y, so it can't be
What?
a line, so this is not linear.
I don't know what that means.
Like a line would be y equals mx plus b, or
So if
some
there's
form of that.
variables in an equation, then that makes
So-
it linear. Like if it was 5x equals 10 over 2, or yeah.
Well, there would still need to be a y. Well, no, there doesn't have to be a y, because a linear equation could just be x equals or just y equals, right? That
So
would
if
be
it
either
was
straight up and down.
5x equals 10 over 2, then that would be linear. Okay.
Yep. So what about 8? X minus 3 equals x squared.
Linear. Wait.
No.
Linear.
What is this?
Square.
Yep, it's parabolic. It's not linear.
Because there's 2x, because there's a square.
Yep. If there's an x in the denominator, not linear. Trying to think if there's any other
Have we done stuff with x in the denominator?
rational functions. Just been a while. We didn't do like a ton with it, but we have done it. All right, solve the equation without using a calculator. Should be pretty self-explanatory. Number 16, 4 minus 2x equals 3x minus 6. So how do I solve an equation like this?
Get the variables on one side.
Yep, so I'm going to subtract, well, it doesn't really matter, but I want my x's on the left. So I'm going to subtract it over here. So negative 5x equals, subtract 4, negative 10. Then divide by negative 5, so x equals 2. I'm going to assume we're okay with that and I don't need to do more of those. Okay. All right. Then let's jump to inequalities. So find which values of x are solutions of the inequality. So this is similar to this first problem, except for now it's going to be an inequality. So that means we need to watch because less than or equal to can imply multiple answers. So we probably shouldn't just plug in numbers. We probably should actually try to solve it and see, but we just need to make sure that we're watching for all the different answer options that could arise. So 32, 3x minus 4 is greater than or equal to 5. A is x equals 0, B, x equals 3, and C, x equals 4. Now, clearly this is an inequality. All my answer options are equal, right? So you might be thinking, okay, well, that's a red flag right there because it's greater than or equal to. However, these are just, would this be a solution if x was equal to this? Okay, so solve this just like normal. So I've got 3x is greater than or equal to 9. So x is greater than or equal to 3. So which of my answers would meet this criteria?
B and C.
Yep, B and C. It'll come up in the next problem, so I'll ask it then. 34. Negative 3 is less than or equal to 1 minus 2x is less than or equal to 3. Options, A is x equals negative 1, B, x equals 0, and C, x equals 2. What kind of inequality is this?
Ones that look like that.
Do you remember the name?
Wait, what's it start with?
C.
Second letter.
O.
Collinear.
Compound inequality.
I already said it.
Okay, so remember when we have one like this, we have to, whatever we're taking out of the middle and moving to the outside has to move to both outside pieces. So when we subtract the 1, it's being subtracted from negative 3 and from 3. So this would be negative 4 is less than or equal to negative 2x is less than or equal to 2. Now, what happens when I divide or multiply by a negative number?
Flip the sign.
Yep, they flip the inequality, so I'm dividing by negative 2, so this is going to be 2 is greater than or equal to x is greater than or equal to negative 1.
So, all.
Yep, so all of them work in this case. Now, technically speaking, if you just plug these numbers in, you are still going to see that it is true. But it's faster, in my opinion, to solve than it is to plug each one in. But if you're like, I'm still confused, I'm just going to plug them in, that's okay too. As long as you get the right answer, I don't really care how you get there. Well, I do, but within reason. Solve the inequality and draw a number line graph of the solution set. So 38, 3x minus 1 is greater than or equal to 6x plus 8. So I'm going to move, well, it doesn't really matter, but for inequalities, I like my variable to be on the left, but personal preference there. So I'm going to have negative 3x, add the 1 over, is greater than or equal to 9. I'm dividing by negative 3, so I got to flip that inequality. So x is less than or equal to negative 3. So my number line graph then start over here. And remember, I don't really care if you put all the numbers on there, just have a few. So what is this graph going to look like? Say that one more time.
Starting at the 3 solid to the left.
X is less than negative.
Yep,
3.
bracket, yep. I think is what he was saying when he said solid, but. So a bracket opening in the direction of the arrow. So it's going to the left. -40. -1 is less than or equal to 3x minus 2 less than 7. So I'm going to add 2 to all pieces. So that's going to be 1 is less than or equal to 3x is less than 9. Then I'm going to divide by 3. So 1/3 is less than or equal to x less than 3. So what is this graph going to look like? Is this an and graph or an or graph?
It's going to be a bracket at the negative, at the 1/3 mark.
Opening which way?
Opening to the right.
Yep.
And then a squiggly, and then a parentheses at the 3, facing left.
Yep. So this would be an and graph because it's going between. Or as if they're facing opposite. All right, the last couple just want us to solve the inequality, so they're just getting a little bit more difficult, but we're not graphing them, so just make sure you watch if the instructions want you to graph them or not. But these ones do not. So 44, 3x minus 2 over 5 is greater than -1. So multiply by 5. 3x minus 2 is greater than -5. Add the 2. 3x is greater than -3. And then divide x is greater than -1. So that one, still relatively simple. $50. 3 minus x over 2 plus 5x minus 2 over 3 is less than -1.
Multiply everything by 3.
Everything by 6.
I was going to say go bigger. We want it, whatever your common denominator of your fraction would be, if you were going to make a common denominator, is what we want to multiply everything by. So, like, if I multiplied by 3, I would still have a fraction here.
Why?
Because 3 and 2 don't reduce. But if I use 6,
Can I use 12 and it work?
yeah, it's just bigger than you need.
Okay, so it has to be bigger than the base number. But wait, that ain't work for the one that we had 6 under.
So this one, it doesn't have, it just depends. It might be your biggest number. In this case, our biggest number was a common denominator for all of these.
But, oh, because 2 isn't into 3. Okay.
So, like, if you weren't using this new method and you were just getting a common denominator to add these fractions together, you would tell me the common denominator is 6.
Okay.
So if you use 12, that's fine. It's just bigger than you need. So you're going to end up having to divide by a bigger number. So I'm multiplying everything by 6. So when I do that, I'm going to end up with 2 goes into 6 3 times. So we have 3 times 3 minus x. Now, if you want to go ahead and distribute that through as you go, you're more than welcome to do that. Plus 3 goes into 6 2 times. So 2 times 5x minus 2. And then just make sure you don't forget that you've got to multiply it by what it's equal to as well, even though it's not a fraction, or in this case, less than 2. I don't know. That doesn't sound right. So -6 If you didn't distribute, then you got to do that now. So 9 minus 3x plus 10x minus 4 is less than negative 6. I would combine like terms and then move the stuff on over. So on the left, I have 7x. 9 minus 4 is 5. And so then I need to subtract that. So 7x is less than negative 11. And then divide x is less than negative 11 over 7. All right, this next one I'm going to let you try on your own, and then we'll go over it, and then unless y'all have questions, we're done. 54. 1/2 times x plus 3 plus 2 times x minus 4 is less than 1/3 times x minus 3. That's it. So take a second and try that one. Make sure we're all good to go. All right, do we have an answer?
Yes. I have
What?
an answer.
We have different ones.
I got x is less than 33 over 12.
I got x is less than 51 over 13.
I got x is less than 2.5.
Are all of us wrong?
All of us won.
Does anybody have anything else?
Yep.
I'm not done yet, but I have big numbers, so I think it's wrong.
Now I'm questioning if I'm right. Nope, I'm right. Okay. All right, so I took and multiplied everything by 6.
Dang it is 13. 15 minus 2 is 13, not 12. So I got it right. It's 13.
Almost.
Oh, I just added wrong.
I'm so proud of myself.
They say when you get to calculus, it's the algebra that kills you. So we multiply everything by 6. So that gives us a 3 in front, and then a 12, and then a 2. Distribute, combine like terms, move stuff around. All the things. Any questions? Or do we see what we did now?
See what I did.
I added
Just
on
can't
the
add.
right side instead of
It's okay. We're still getting back into the whole school thing. We're only a week in at this point.
That's way too long.
Yeah, I feel like I've been here already.
All right.
Yes.
There's your problems. Tomorrow volleyball will not be here, so tomorrow will be a work day. So if you didn't finish your problems from yesterday, you need to turn those in tomorrow at the beginning of class.
Wait, we had problems yesterday?
We did.
Yeah. Some of you may have finished. I don't know. I'm just saying, because it was Wednesday and we're getting used to the I can have homework on Wednesdays because it's a college class thing. If you didn't finish them, I would say start with that because they need to be turned in tomorrow. These you'll need to turn in by the end of class tomorrow. And then if you haven't done your notes for the next section, tomorrow you'll have time to do that as well. I think Mr. Patton is the sub, so I'll make sure that he knows that y'all are allowed to use a device, but the same rule applies if he catches you like texting or whatever, then you're gonna lose that privilege from here on out. So, all that to say, bring your stuff for tomorrow. Probably looking at a quiz next Wednesday, just as a heads up on P1 to P4. It may shift, but that's probably what we're looking at, so just be aware. Obviously, I won't be here tomorrow for this class, so if your book isn't covered, I'll just have to look at it on Monday. If you can't find a book cover somewhere, I'm sure Amazon has one. Office Max probably has one.